So today I'm just going to very briefly talk about the Insta360 preview remote, and if you've got one of these or you're thinking of getting one of these, you might be a little bit concerned about the wrist strap length, because it's really designed for the kind of Asian people who are slight to build, but for Europeans and Americans we've got kind of a bigger bone set, and the strap on the remote control is really tight. As you can see here, I can actually use it, and I'm kind of 6 foot tall, not the biggest giant in the world, but for many people this doesn't fit. Look into Insta to try and provide a wrist extension, or maybe a new housing for it which has got the right length of strap, but to date, as of November 2024, they haven't produced such a thing. So I was looking really for a strap extension. Looked online, there isn't such a thing being made for it, so I was looking really to try and find something that would fit. And what I'm going to do now is just take you through the solution to it, which I've found, which is really affordable, and if you're in the UK it's really quick and easy to get hold of. So I'm just going to show you what I've actually managed to find. The strap itself on these is made of silicone, and it's 22mm in size. So trying to find a 22mm strap extension, there's a few on the market. You can buy one for an Apple Watch, which is an extension, but that's nearly £20 or more than £20. Alternatively, I have found this strap itself, which is designed for an Apple Watch, and I'll put the details in this at the end, which is just literally less than a tenner. So if you unbox it, what you actually get is you get a housing which is useless really, because you're not going to want that because you haven't got the Apple Watch. And what you've actually got here is two parts, which is the standard watch strap for the Apple, but this is the bit you're really interested in, which is the bit that we're going to make an extension out of. Now if you look at this in terms of width, you very quickly see that we're basically an identical width to the standard watch. So this is definitely a potential here we can use. The strap itself, the buckle, is usable. Now many of these Apple Watch straps don't have this kind of pin buckle. They've got to run a cheap kind of popper thing through, which I don't know, maybe that's okay, maybe it's not, but this is a very expensive piece of kit, and personally I'd like the pin and something a bit more secure. So what I'm going to do now is just going to modify this strap, very simple, to get it through so that I can use it with this strap as an extension and put a few holes in it. So this is what I'm going to use. So these bits we don't need. So what I've got here basically is a decent scalpel blade, which you can get anywhere you want to get hold of it. And I've also got one of these which is really designed for belts, but it basically punches a hole in it. Now if you're going to use something else, I'd suggest you use a drill or something smooth, because what you don't want is any sharp edges around the holes in here, because if you do that then there's a good chance it'll tear and rip at some stage. So something like this is ideal. They're not that expensive, but you could equally use a drill bit just to drill through the silicone rubber. So first what I'm going to do is just going to trim, because the strap's got an end on it, we don't want that. It's going to trim this strap off so that it's got an even level edge on it. So with my scalpel blade, come in here, hold it straight, and I'm just going to cut straight through that. There's a bit of a pin on the end, so you need to be careful of that. We'll cut that end off at the minute, we don't need that. Same with this side, just going to trim it along just to get that point. Now we're just going to trim off the top because we don't want the pin. Can't use the pin, we've just trimmed that right up to the edge there. So I'm looking to try and get a really good cut. Quite springy actually, it's quite tight. Maybe I've just gone a little bit too close there. Let's come back a little bit. There we go. Let's remove the edge pin there. Just tidy that up a little bit, so we haven't got any dirty edges on it. You can still see that where I've done that now. Let's come in here and just... There we go. So that's now done. Just give it a bit of, on the edge here, just going to give it a bit of rounding, just take the corner off it. Just trim that gently off so we haven't got any sharp corners on it. We don't really want any sharp corners on it. Right, so now we've got this now, we can then check it. As you can see on here, it goes straight through the strap beautifully. So effectively now we've got the basis of our strap extension. It's going to go underneath the buckle. We'll just check that fits. It fits beautifully under there, so that's perfect as well. So all we've really got to do now is just put some holes in. We've got our hole punch. Let's stick it underneath. A bit tight with this one. Put it in the middle and just level it out. There we go. And then punch it through. That's the first one done. It's a bit tricky to get out. Squeeze it through there. There we go. So now you can see we've got a perfect little hole. If you can see that. Hopefully you can see that with a bit of light through it. But it's now got a perfect little hole through it. So I'm just going to put a few like that in there. Put it on my strap. And then the pin will go through like so. And do that across the few just to get a bit more length in it. And then now got a wrist extension strap. So now I've used my hole punch and I've created a series of holes in the strap, which means I've got a good level of adjustment. I'm now just going to put this together now to form my strap extension. As you can see here, put the new strap through the original clasp, put the pin through, and then you can use the original rubber element there just to form the strap extension. Very simple now. Put this through the original strap and then tuck that underneath, and you've got what I think is a really good low cost strap extension now for the Insta360 remote control. So if you're like me and you like to rotate your watch when you're using it, when you're holding the selfie stick, there it is, finally finished. It's all on there, and I can now swivel my watch round. I'm holding my stick. I can easily get to the buttons on the top to start and stop recording. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please subscribe. I'm trying to build my channel up. It doesn't cost anything and you'll be really helping me get my business up and running.